Hello everybody and welcome to part 2 of D100 Dungeon. No box, just a piece of paper, and that's how we like it with this print and play. We are about to embark on our first ever adventure. Technically, we're kind of still got the stabilizers on, still got those training wheels, but for us, this is our first time off the farm. Yeah, I'm still rolling with that. First time off the farm, and we are heading into a cave. Yes, we are. Now, what do we have to do in order to enter the dungeon? Well, I'll tell you. It is gonna involve this mapping page. You roll the D100 to essentially discover which cavern you enter. They all are gonna join up to make a map, and we're gonna try to enter and exit this dungeon, I guess, without getting killed. Yeah, that's it. Let's see where we go. Turns. Once a quest has been selected, well, we have indeed selected a quest as it has been selected for us. And so the quest that we're going to undertake on is this. Dungeon Training 1. Basic dungeoning. The objective is to loot 3 parts. The encounter modification is -40. The reward, if we complete this test, is 50 gold pieces. If we fail, we lose half of our gold pieces, of which right now we don't have any gold pieces, so that's fine. Half of 0 will be all right for me. That's an acceptable loss. I checked. I don't think we start with any gold. We are indeed a poor serf, and so it wouldn't make sense for us to start with gold. Maybe it's the gold that we find in the dungeon that we possibly lose. I don't know. Anyway, what we're going to do is, first we can adjust the equipment we have. Well, we've only just started, so we're not going to do that. Secondly, we shade in one time track. This little time track down here tells us how long we've been in the dungeon. Let me zoom in a little bit. Yeah, there we go. How long we've been in the dungeon, and these little symbols above it tell us anything that happens at that particular time. So, for example, once I shade in this, we can see above it there is a tiny, or I can see, you maybe can't. There's a tiny bottle of oil there, which means that we've lit our torch and we've burnt one of our oil. So in comes the eraser, and we are down to 19 oil. This is at 1 o'clock. At 2 o'clock we do nothing. At 3 o'clock we meet a monster. 4 o'clock nothing. 5 o'clock we have to light another torch, etc. So we enter the dungeon, and the first thing we're going to do is roll to map. Now, to do that, I consult my map chart as they've alluded to here. I'm guessing it's going to be somewhere in the middle because that's where M lives. JLM mapping. Now, one downside of me going a bit cheapskate and printing this at work was that I didn't print it color, and these actually need to be color. So I'm going to pop this up on the screen with a kind of a screenshot of the color version so you can just see what I'm doing. But essentially, if we come up against an orange room or cavern, we do nothing. Red, we roll an encounter because there's a monster there. Green, we roll a geographic roll, which I'm yet to find out what that means. And then the blue, which is his bottom row, if we roll 90 or above, that's our objective. So we have to see the quest, and I think we have to get that's how we get parts. Or if we kill monsters, I think we can get parts too. So, without further ado, shall we embark? Yes, we shall, on our very first quest. Absolutely. I'm ready. Let me zoom out so we can capture the dice, and let's go. It is a 98. Wow. Okay, that couldn't have gone better. I think we've just got a part. So 98, and it's a bit of a, well, it's a sealed room, so that's unfortunate. What it says in the rules, and as I draw this as best I can, what it says in the rules is that if necessary to continue through the dungeon, you are allowed to drill or find, I suppose. And we're back, technical difficulties. What I was saying is that we can create a secret passage through the door. Yes, that's what I was saying. So we do have to map this as accurately as possible. Yes. So in the top right-hand corner, we're going to record the areas, the color. So this is a B. for blue, and we check the quest for objectives, which is indeed that we found a part. So we found one part, and let's find out what that is. So here on the parts table is where we're going to roll to find that out. And we're going to roll our D100 once again and find out that we have found 71, which is some bone. Yes, keys, fire pokers, kebab sticks, everything has its uses. It's worth 25 gold pieces. Fantastic. So, move this dungeon aside for just a second. Move my character sheet aside for just a second. I'm going to add 1 to our attempted quest. Our current quest is Dungeon Training 1. I should have written that in first. And then combat track, no, we haven't combated anything, but unequipped potions and non-slot items. Yes, okay, so that's what we do. So we found some miscellaneous bone. I mean, usually we would write down, I think, the monster that this came from, but in this case, it's miscellaneous. We found a bone as soon as we walked in, so I mean that's lucky, I suppose. Let's go again. We're going to go to. I think we can go any direction that we want, as long as we are moving through the cavern. So if I go this way, I can actually, like I said, create a secret pathway here. That's an S there, and that goes through the rock. Yeah, there it is. So we're gonna map again. Let's map. And I've got the luxury of having it up on my screen here, so I can roll the dice, and again I will show you the result. 10. It's red, and it is indeed necessary to have a secret passage, as it is strangely, there's another entrance, it would seem, right next to the entrance. So that's odd. But you know what? Obviously, no one's been here in this one for a while, because we just found a bone, free bone. We are going to roll an encounter, which means this is a red square. We're going to roll an encounter. Remember that the encounters on this dungeon training have a negative score to them, because we're just a baby at this point. So the encounter modifier is a -40, so that's probably going to be helpful. Let's see who we're going to encounter by rolling the table. The dice come in again. And we've got a 40. I don't like that it's high. Let's see. Oh, a Goblin Archer. Very nice. Goblin Archer, H. I don't know what that H is. Average 25. Defense 1. Damage -1. HP 233. Loot. We do a table A, I, and W. It's got a pack and surprise. I'm going to have to find out what all this means, and let's figure it out together. Here we are. Rules. That's helpful. Each monster has a name, Goblin Archer. A type, for C for creature, H for humanoid, which is a Goblin Archer. Undead and demon. An attack value, not average, that was silly. Attack value of 25. A defense rating of 1. A damage modifier of -1. And then HP. So some monsters have abilities which are shown in italics. They affect your encounter with them and must be observed. They've got surprise and pack. So let's see what those do. Packs start of each combat round. Each monster still alive beyond the first adds +5 to its AV. And then surprise. The monster may surprise the character when it first appears. At the start of a combat with a monster that has a surprise ability, make a surprise test. Okay, so we know we've encountered the Goblin Archer right here on number 40-something. They've got surprise and they've got pack. Now, because there's only one of them, they don't get the pack benefit, but we do have to roll a surprise test. And this is, we take our intelligence, which is 40, -10, which is 30, success, no effect, and if we fail, the monster has a free attack, and then we start combat normally. There's a lot, and I say this, there is a lot of initials and acronyms that I am not familiar with. I'm not a massive RPG player, so for example, like this took me about 10 minutes to realize that that's intelligence, and that took me about another 5 minutes to realize that's success and fail. I think these might be obvious to other people, but in case it's not, that's what that means, I think. That's what I'm hoping it means, because that's what I'm taking it to mean. So we're going to roll a surprise, and if we get higher than 30, we should be okay. It's a 74, so we're not surprised. We're too intelligent for that. The Goblin Archer hasn't got one over on us. So then we start the combat, and what that looks like is this. So when we start combat, I keep getting interrupted by my dogs. When we start combat, we write the monster on our encounter sheet here. So it's a Goblin Archer. Attack value 25. Defense, I think we said, is 1. Yes. Damage modifier -1. Health points 2, 3, 3. So it is in a pack. Now I understand. So the first one has 2, the second one has 3, and the third one has 3. Okay, I got it. So we actually do have to defeat 3 Goblin Archers, and the pack bonus is in effect. So I will have to figure out what that means. So roll on the monster reaction chart to determine its action in the forthcoming round. So let's roll on the monster reaction chart, and let's see what he's going to do, or what they are going to do, I should say, because there's lots of them. We're going to roll 1d10, and the monster reaction will go as follows. So it's a 1. The monster has less than half its H points. It gains 10. Yeah, whatever, so that's fine. We don't need to do that. Okay, so it's nothing. So they're just going to hang out, I guess, while we try to hit them with our two-handed lance. For the combat, we roll our D100 to attack the monster, and we have to score equal to or below our strength or dexterity, depending on the weapon. While our lance, the two-handed weapon, is going to use, or one-handed weapon, I should say, any weapon that's in the hand is going to use strength. Unfortunately, that is our lowest attribute. So we're going to have to score -30, or we're going to score under 30. I've also just realized that the encounter modifier was supposed to -40 off our original encounter roll. So when I scored 40, I think I scored 41 to get the Goblin Archers. I should have -40 to go back to 1. And actually we should be facing giant rats right now. But we're going to crack on. So we're going to roll our D100 in order to try to hit the monster. So, yeah, let's do it. It's a 68, so we have indeed missed. Now roll for the monster's attack. Roll 1d100 equal to or below the monster's attack value. If the result scores a hit, go to step 5. Otherwise, we start a new combat round. So their attack value is 25, plus the pack benefit. So the pack they get at the start of each combat round, each monster still alive beyond the first adds +5 to its AV. So if the encounter has 4 monsters still alive, they get AV +15. Well, this pack is 3 Goblin Archers, so they would get +10. So we're looking for a score for them of under 35, and that will be a hit. It's 23, so the Goblin Archers have indeed hit us. Our luck with the dice is not great. Roll the damage dice, D6, and the location dice, D10 together, and apply the damage modifier of the location roll to the damage dice, then apply the monster's DMG modifier and deduct the character's DEF value for any armor worn on the location that has been hit. 3 and 3. So the location is 3. So hit location 3, it has hit us in the torso, which is a damage modification of 1. So that means we apply the monster's damage modifier, which is -1. So that cancels out that +1, I guess. And so we're still on 3. We add our defense value for any armor worn on the torso, which we do not have torso armor. And the remaining amount is the number of HP that's dealt to the character. Okay, cool. So our HP is just going to drop by 3. So yeah, okay, that's easy. 17. 20 minus 3, 17. I can do basic maths all day long. It is now our turn to attack again. We have to roll the monster reaction chart once more to figure out what the monster's going to do this time when we start fighting them, hopefully, with actually hitting them with our giant lance. We've rolled a 7, so the monster will unfortunately attack as normal. There, another 7. And so we're going to roll. We have to score again, below 30, yes. Oh, I did the wrong one. Well, that's still 20. We'll use this as a T. No, I can't use that as okay, never mind. So we need to roll below 30. Yes, let's try it. It is a 6. Yes. So it's not 106, thankfully. That is just 6. And so that means we did hit them. So if the result scores a hit, we have to roll the damage dice and the location dice together, D10. Apply the damage modification of the location roll, the weapons, and any damage bonus provided by any of the equipped items, then deduct the monster's defense. Yes, okay, this makes sense to me now, I think. So the damage dice, D6, is 6, fantastic. So 6 damage we start off with. The location dice, again, is a 3, so that means we hit them in the torso and get 1+ damage modifier. So our lance is coming in handy, thankfully. Our lance also has a +1 damage modifier because it's so darn big. So that means we're getting 6, 7, 8. We're going to deduct the monster's defense, which is 1. So if I'm reading this right, we've done 8 damage to the 3 monsters. I'm not quite sure how to apply it to multiple, like I would imagine we apply it like this, so we would apply it to 2 and then to 3 and then to 3. So we've got 8, -1 is 7, so we will have killed this first one, we've killed this second one, and this fellow is down to 1 HP. They no longer have the pack bonus as well, which is nice because we've killed 2 out of 3 of them. Whew, okay, that seemed to go well. So let's roll for the monsters. So roll 1 D100, which is this one. And they have to, again, score less than 25, which they did not. It is 88, and they have missed us by a mile, a country mile indeed. We're going to roll on the reaction chart again. So roll D10, oops, 1. 5, which means the monster will attack as normal. And so we will roll and try to score, again, under 30. Let's do it. 23! Oh, it's brilliant. We're going to roll for our hit location and our damage. Damage of 6. I swear this isn't fixed. Location 1. We've got them in the head. Okay, I mean, they're definitely dead, aren't they? Damage modifier +3, so that's 6 + 3 is 9, +1 for the lance is 10, minus their defense, which is 9. They are definitely dead. So fantastic, we've done it. What does that mean? So we consult the encounter table once again. We look at Goblin Archer. We see that the loot for the Goblin Archer is, once they are killed, we can either roll K, A, I, or W. So let's go find out what they are and then see what we need to see if we can get some good treasure off them. We did kill them, so I guess we write K somewhere. Let's write K here. Yes, dead. Indeed they are. So what do I say? A, I, or W? Let's go to... Okay, we can either pick up some armor. That's nice. I'm guessing is items. Yes, looking through the tables. Items, yes, so we can find items in table I, or W is, oh, weapons, yeah, of course. You know what, I would like to try and find a weapon, to be honest, and they're at archers, so if they've got a crossbow on them, that's great. I'm not a big fan of the lance. I mean, it did us all right this time, but I would prefer to be able to have one weapon and one shield, because we've got a shield, it's pretty decent, so why not put it to good use? So let's roll for a weapon. We're going to roll a D100 again, and let's see what we can get our hands on. It is 72, that's rather high. Let's see what we've won. A bill. I don't know what that is. I'm going to have to look it up. Now I know. The bill is a polearm weapon used by infantry in medieval Europe. The bill is similar in size, function, and appearance to the halberd, differing mainly in the hooked blade. So it's known as the English bill. Bill hook, or bill gazame. I'm guessing that's French. So it is two-handed, which is unfortunate, but it is +2 damage, which makes it slightly better than the lance. So I suppose what we'll do is we'll demote the lance to items that we are carrying, which is here. So lance out of the character sheet onto our backpack. Unequipped item is a lance. It has +1 damage. Its value, I don't remember what its value was, damn. But it has 1 on the repair track. I'm sure I can look it up again. Let's see, lance, its value is 123. Okay, that's nice. And repair cost is 25. So we'll fill that in. That looks good. So now we can fill, now we can take the bill. I'm quite surprised I didn't know what that was. I feel like I should have done. We can take the bill that we've just gained from the Goblin Archer. That makes no sense at all. +2 damage now. It is worth 236 gold pieces. It costs a whopping 48 to repair. And it does have a second wear mark on its repair track. So I think that was a pretty successful piece of combat, don't you? I mean, I think that was all right. We've got through the first... We've got through the first 2 squares. We did meet a monster here. This was a red square, so I need to put an R in here. And then I think I need to... This map looks terrible. I'm going to have to make this a little neater. But then we write... I think we have to write something along the lines of like... the monster we've encountered or something, and we proceed. We go forward, onwards and upwards, and we take on the next foe. I am going to leave the video here. We've encountered our first monster. We've got our first upgraded weapon. It is again a 2-handed bill, unfortunately, so we still cannot use our kite shield, but we're making progress. We've killed some goblins. We've made it through 2 squares of the dungeon, and we are well on our way to completing the first round. Yes, you heard me. That was only the first round of dungeon training. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed part 2 of this epic D100 dungeon. I am learning this as we go, so I apologize for the kind of choppy nature of this video. There's going to be a lot of cuts as I figure out what the hell page I'm supposed to be looking at. I probably will end up binding this at some point because I've got so many I've got so many pieces of paper everywhere. And I'm going to need to keep it a bit more organized than this, I think. I lost my eraser like 10 times underneath all of these. That is going to be it from me, I promise. Thank you so much for watching. Do hit subscribe if you want to join me on this lovely quest. Gwent has got his first kill in the dungeon, and we are feeling good. Don't forget to like, don't forget to leave me a comment, tell me what you think, and I will see you later.